Hi, my name is Stephanie Beninati, and I am the owner of Strategic Insurance Services. I started this business in 2013, and now it is 2026. And for all of these years, I have been waiting for something that could come along to make my job a lot easier. So, one of the things that is very difficult about what I do in my insurance agency is I am in a very specific niche, which is construction, and I insure the hierarchy of the jobs. So, everything is very manual, it's very labor intensive because there's no program that really just specializes in that one thing. Most insurance is made for personal lines, and I don't do any personal lines. So, one of the problems, I have a few, and I'm going to solve them all by the end of the year and have my own program that just works specifically for me. But one of the problems that I have had in the past is when I get the quote. So, I take the applications and I send them to the wholesaler, and they send me a quote back in my email. Let's start there. So, I get a quote in my email, and it's attached. So, I save it to my desktop, and this is what it looks like. So, as you can see, it's a very good policies are really expensive, so that's great, but you can't do a lot of them because they're so time consuming. So my client book of business is very small because it's so time consuming, and hiring somebody and training them to do this, which I've done many times, it's not worth it. Like, it doesn't, the ROI, it doesn't come out. But anyway, there's all these things that they have to sign. There's scheduled forms that you need to put in there, kind of show them their statement, all of these things. And then I have my own documents. Now, we could put them into Easy Links, which is my software program. This is my account here. We could make a quote proposal in Easy Links, but you'd have to add the quote manually, right? It's still time consuming. And then the actual quote itself is not very attractive. It actually is. Let's see what it looks like. Let's show you real quick because it's not beautiful. It's really made for personal lines. So, and you have to. It's very difficult to. I've never been able to use this program. It's very difficult. There's different pages, but you still have to build it, and I've never really been able to do that efficiently. I'm actually can build an app easier than I can build out this template. So anyway, so what I really wanted was something I could just grab and put it in here, and it would extract all of that information. But as you guys know, PDFs are very hard to do that. So I built this app. So basically, let's just go with this general liability. I'm going to grab the I had it just a minute ago. Okay, here we go. I'm going to just drag it in. Now, it's going to take a minute because it has to parse and it has to pull a lot of stuff, so it takes a little bit of time. But in the meantime, I can tell you something that's really cool that this app does. So I created a program that manages subcontractors, and I actually had like an Excel spreadsheet, and it was really great. And I wanted to create my own SaaS product, but it was like $100,000 or $150,000. I just didn't have that. So over the years, I finally found a company that does collect these certificates. But anyway, the program is $5,000 a year. And so I was able to add that extra, like if somebody wants it or if I want to offer it when I'm providing the proposal, I was able to offer that in this quote. You'll see that. And then I have created my own, I call them CYA forms. I don't know if you know, cover your woohoo. So, but my own forms for myself. And so that is, that actually I'm able to put them in here, and then they'll automatically generate with the proposal. So that is really cool. It takes a little bit of a long time because it's pulling a lot of data, but you can go get, coffee or whatever. It's Saturday night now, so a drink. But there we go. Ha 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 ha. Yay. Okay. So we've got all of the things here. There's like, this is actually not admitted. These are right. Occurrence, aggregate, all of those things are correct. Deductible's correct. And so premium and it breaks it down there, all that stuff. Now I can add a scenario here. Like this would be if I have other quotes for this account. Like for example, he said he was going to do, he wanted a quote for like if he did 5 million this year or 7 million or 11 million. So I was able to do, so gross revenue, I was able to do 5 million. And then, I was able to put different scenarios and then the total. So we're not going to get the carrier's not going to give us a quote for every single one. It's just going to give us the price. And so we can put it here. So we were able to do that, which was great. And then here are all those exclusions. So all the things that we saw that were here, all of the stuff. So I took all the forms out and I fed it into the system. And so it says like exclusion communicable diseases. And so I always go through that and, make sure my clients know what the exclusions and the limitations are. But what I did was I built it out here. So it's not just like one thing, but it kind of, and it also says like SIS can help you fill the gap, ask about cyber and technology. So it just gives them an option to like look at, make sure they understand not just these forms. I like them to see an example of what those are. So there's lots of things in here. And then these are included, like these are enhancements. And so we continue. And then now this is the SIS search program I was telling you about. So I can add that as a fee, and this is my agency fee. So I add that as well. It's automatic, but I can change the price, and then it does the math for me. And now I can combine the broker fee with all of the taxes. And when you have this much stuff, it's just easier just to put all the surplus line taxes and fees together. And then, or I can, separate it out. And then we hit continue. And then this is there's a short proposal. I could do a medium and long proposal if I want to. There's new and renewal. And then this is, it talks about all of the insurance carrier, the types of programs. It actually puts it in everywhere. And then these are required forms that I have to fill out every single time. There's a terrorism form, a surplus line notification, and all of those others. But these are my other CYA forms that I created myself. And then I could attach other things if I need to. And then there's my PDF. It has all of my stuff. Save and generate. And then we're going to download. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? Total estimate. So basically they're in unless they opt out, so they can opt out. And then it opens up in a PDF and I can just get it, do the e-sign. And these are the included enhancements. And I didn't ask it to give it's these colors. It did the colors itself. I thought that was really cool. And then here's my insurance policy binding authorization. So these are my CYA forms, policy requirements and subjectivities, meaning that before they start, they understand what they need to do, that they're going to have an audit and inspection every year, right? So they initial this, exclusions and limitations, that they've read that they understand their subcontractor requirements, and then signature to bind, and then how they're going to pay. And then the annual, it tells them, it pulled the estimated gross revenue, it pulled the rate, what the rate was, it pulled the pure premium and then the total with the fees and everything, and then how the audit works. And then it acknowledges that they're, so they don't forget that they have an audit, and that they remember that if anything that goes over $11 million, they're going to, have to, in gross revenue, they'll have to pay. And then this beautiful invoice. So the invoice was really hard to get it all on one place. And then here are the disclosures, surplus lines, requirement. These are the subjectivities. And then these are like that statement that we saw before. I always have to fill them out. So it automatically fills it out. So that is my app. I'm very, very pleased with it. Thanks. Bye.